I'll be introducing a rare mitochondrial disorder called Melas syndrome, which stands for mitochondrial encephalopathy, lactic acidosis, and stroke-like episodes. To understand Melas, we first need to understand how our cells normally produce energy. In healthy cells, energy is produced inside tiny structures called mitochondria through a process called aerobic respiration. In this process, glucose will react with oxygen to produce ATP, which is the body's main energy currency. This reaction also releases carbon dioxide and water as waste products. However, in people with Melas syndrome, the mitochondria are damaged due to genetic mutations, so they cannot perform aerobic respiration efficiently. As a result, the body is forced to rely more on anaerobic respiration, which is an oxygen-independent pathway. The problem is that anaerobic respiration is far less efficient. It produces much less ATP, and instead of releasing carbon dioxide and water, it produces lactic acid as a byproduct.
Complex 1 will remove electron from NADH. Proton will be transported from the matrix to the intermembrane through the complex 1. Ubiquinone will remove electron from complex 1. Complex 2 will remove the electron from FADH2. Ubiquinone will remove electron from complex 2. Complex 3 will remove the electron from the ubiquinone. Proton will be transported from matrix to the intermembrane through complex 3. Cytochrome C will remove the electron from complex 3. Complex 4 will remove the electron from cytochrome C. Proton will be transported across complex 4. Oxygen will bond with electron and 2 hydrogen to become water. Proton gradient in the intermembrane is higher than the proton gradient in the matrix. So, proton will move from the intermembrane to the matrix through ATP synthase. At the end, 5 ATP will be produced, 3 from the NADH and 2 from the FADH2.
Before I start, the number of molecules or particles involved are just an assumption to better explain the concept. It is not accurate like how it is reflected in the real process. So, as shown by Shabil earlier, this is our ETC model. Since the Melas syndrome only involves the complex 1, I will only be focusing on that part. To further help my explanation, let's say the number of protons that is going to move from the matrix to the intermembrane space of the mitochondria is 2. After the NADH has moved to the complex 1, we can see here that only 1 electron is removed from the NADH instead of 2. This is because the complex 1 is defected due to mutation on mitochondria. Next, this also causes the number of protons that moves from the matrix to intermembrane space through complex 1 also reduces, which is 1 instead of 2. After that, processes at other complex are the same as normal ETC process. After all the protons has moved from each matrix to the intermembrane space, we can see that there is still protons left in the matrix. This means that the proton gradient between intermembrane space and the matrix decreases. As the proton is moving to ATP synthase from intermembrane space to the matrix, it actually produces potential energy, which refers to the pink blob. After all the protons has moved to the matrix, it produces 3 potential energy. These 3 potential energy are used to synthesize ATP molecules from ADP molecule, which is the orange blob, and inorganic phosphate, which is the green blob. This process is called chemiosmosis. Since only 3 potential energy are present, only 3 ATP molecules are produced, which is lower than the amount of ATP molecule that we are supposed to get at the end of the process. And that is how Melas syndrome affects the ETC process.
Symptoms usually appear in childhood or early adulthood, and they can vary between patients. Common features include muscle weakness and exercise intolerance, seizure, stroke-like episodes, headache and vomiting, hearing loss, diabetes, cognitive decline, short stature, lactic acidosis where there is too much lactic acid in the blood, and vision problems. Unfortunately, there is no cure for Melas, but treatments aim to manage symptoms and improve quality of life. First, seizure control. It can be treated with anti-epileptic drugs, but Melas syndrome patients need to avoid valproic acid as it worsens mitochondrial problems. Second, stroke-like episode management. Arginine and citrulline supplements may help improve blood flow during and between attacks. Third, mitochondrial cocktail supplements such as coenzyme Q10, L-carnitine, B vitamins, and antioxidants to support energy metabolism. Fourth, diabetes treatment with standard approach like insulin or oral medication. Fifth, hearing aids or cochlear implants for progressive hearing loss. And for the last one, physiotherapy and supportive care, it is to maintain mobility and daily functioning.